A fresh round of violence in South Sudan has threatened to open deep divisions within Australia's South Sudanese communities.
5 years since the world's newest country gained independence, it remains in a state of turmoil.
We need peace and unity in South Sudan.
A small but vocal turnout from Sydney's South Sudanese Dinka community at this unity rally. They're condemning the crisis in their homeland.
We need every nation to help us.
A protest that's been long in the pipeline after months of meetings in a tiny room tucked behind a local library.
We cannot allow these events to undermine what we have achieved in Australia.
The conflict has torn apart ethnic groups, of which there are 64, predominantly the Dinka and Nuer people.
Unfortunately, the politics went in between and break our friendship down with them.
Tribal divides, communities here are downplaying and desperate to avoid.
We don't have any problem. We are the same.
Civil war erupted in South Sudan only 2 years after it gained independence in 2011. A rift between the president and his former deputy, one Dinka, the other Nuer, led to an attempted military coup and 2 years of fighting. Tens of thousands were killed before a peace deal was signed last August, but that did nothing to quell the violence. Deadly clashes in the capital Juba last month has sparked fears of a second civil war.
What we've watched is the situation erode over the last 2.5, 3 years since the outbreak of hostilities. There's so much need here, it's overwhelming.
South Sudan has a population of 12 million. Aid groups say half require some form of humanitarian assistance. The ongoing conflicts left 1.7 million people internally displaced. 840,000 have sought refuge abroad, and 60,000 have fled in the last 3 weeks alone. Access to food and clean water are the biggest problems facing those left behind. There are also reports of the widespread rape of women and young girls by soldiers and armed men, often as they search for water. Anger causing South Sudanese Australians to travel back to join the fighting. Despite a peace deal brokered in July, fighting continues in South Sudan. But in Australia, communities are working hard to ensure they remain united.
Dinka, Nuer, we are brothers and sisters.
SBS attempted to contact the Nuer community, but no one was available for comment. Omar Debaj, SBS World News.